Yeah, great to be back. The boys have worked really hard this year. We're a little bit disappointed we didn't quite make that fourth spot, but at the same time, it's irrelevant now. We've got a home tie in the playoffs, and obviously, some a lot of things at stake this weekend.
What a home tie! Would you prefer to have played them maybe later on in the competition?
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who we play at this stage. I think the fact that we do play OKR puts the game, the game and the profile of it, very much in the media spotlight and in the national spotlight, which I think is fantastic. One thing it does ensure, we're going to have a full house, and if the previous two encounters this year are anything to go by, the passion and commitment that both sets of players showed, it should be a cracker.
Justin, 12 months on since the playoffs, do you feel that your players will be better prepared this year going into it, having suffered defeats in 12 months ago?
Yeah, I think maybe not the defeat so much, but mostly more our mindset. I think last year we were heavily focused on our finishing position, and most probably got to the back end of the season, didn't have any great form for the last couple of rounds, got a couple of injuries, and obviously got bundled out in 2 rounds of the playoffs. So I think we're a lot more comfortable in our ability. I think we're much better prepared to handle the pressure situations of playoffs now. Only time will tell. We go into a sudden death one straight away, which obviously week 1 last year we had, obviously a second bite of the cherry. So again, it's a little bit of an uncharted territory for us, but I think we're much better prepared this year.
There must be a real buzz around the city at the moment because of it.
Absolutely, as you would expect. A lot of people are billing it as the biggest game for 30 years since the 1980 Challenge Cup final, and the fans are probably better to judge that than I am. They've experienced the highs and the lows, and obviously this is a game what's creating an unbelievable amount of excitement. It's important for us that we focus on what's important. That's preparing right. We're getting ourselves ready, for what is going to be a tough encounter.
And this playoff series, has it got to be the best yet, would you say?
Well, it's very difficult looking through it to pick a winner from many of the ties. And I think every team in their own way will be fancying, making an imprint on the playoffs. We're no different, but what we know is we're going to have to play, to a level of intensity and probably execute a little bit better than we did on Saturday night. And we found the right intensity level, and we just need to take our chances a little bit more. But what we know is playing Rovers, chances will be hard to come by. The 2 games in which we've played them this year have been, there's been not much left in the tanks from either side, and I'm pretty certain that we can expect the same again this week.
And how's it looking with injuries? Is everything okay?
Yeah, pretty good. I think at this stage of the year, what you're hoping for is a clean bill of health and having people on the training park. And Mark Calderwood and Richard Whiting apart, who've got long-term injuries. We've got a clean bill of health and a squad that I think is mentally and physically in a pretty good place at the moment.
And a massive sudden death game, as we all know. I mean, in many ways, this could be, the finale of the season for everyone. But what a great game in prospect. Yeah,
it's great. There's some mouth-watering fixtures, isn't there? Wigan Leeds, us and Hull, and Saints Warrington. And who's to say that the Huddersfield Crusaders game's not going to be a great one as well? So yeah, it's a great fixture. Looking forward to it immensely. It's going to be packed stadium. It's a good ground to play at. We're going to have 2 sets of fans that are going to be very, very passionate. 2 sets of players that are going to be very pumped up for the match. I'm really excited. Already looking forward to it. But it'll be work as normal this week, and the enjoyment part will be most probably secondary. And obviously, you tend to enjoy a victory a lot more than a loss.
And how do you manage that expectation, that pressure of this particular game?
Well, it's part of the job, isn't it? I mean, I think it's important for the early part of the week to make sure that the players are relaxed, know what their roles are, and give them some confidence in what we're going out to do. I think it's important that that they have that belief. I feel as though that they've shown that to me over the last few weeks, that there's some belief there that they can compete against the top teams. We've done that consistently for a couple of seasons now, beaten some of the more experienced teams in Super League. When we get to the game, I'm sure their players will be nervous, no doubt, but as long as they're relaxed, and I think if you ask any player, once they whistle goes for the kick-off and they make their first tackle or carry the ball for the first time, they just go back into automatic pilot and become rugby league players.
And on this occasion, would you have preferred a different game rather than your opponent's Hull FC? Would you prefer?
No, I'm looking forward to that one. I really am. No, and I'm also of the belief that you have to beat all the teams in and around you to get to Old Trafford. It would be a wonderful occasion. I've been here to the grand final, the last couple of years, and I couldn't think of any better feeling than to lead your team out, on that final weekend of the Super League season. So, it's a game that we're immensely looking forward to, and couldn't have wished for a better one.
It's a terrific week for all the clubs involved. But do you feel this is the best playoff series that we've had so far?
Yeah, it is for lots of reasons. Like I said, I remember watching the Leeds-Wigan game, at Wigan during the season, and that was built as a huge game, and as it was, we all know the clashes between Saints and Warrington. Crusaders in the playoffs for the first time. They're going to really want to have a good shake at it. I think if you spoke to a dozen people and said, who do you think is going to be in the grand final, you might even get a dozen different combinations. And most probably years gone by, that wasn't the case, and I think it's a great reflection on our competition. And a team like Cass that's most probably just missed out on the 8. Would have fancied their chances as well. So it shows that the competition's great to be involved in, great one to watch, and I think all the teams are buoyed with some confidence to go to the grand final.